Wwe 2K22, it hits different. Over the past week, I was able to get my hands on Wwe 2K22. Now, I would love to give a huge breakdown on everything I saw, but unfortunately, you're gonna have to wait. Before I jump into all of the juicy information, I do want to give a huge thank you to 2K ANZ and to 2K for giving me access to play Wwe 2K22 early. Now, 2K22 really did catch me by surprise. Like, I thought it was going to be okay. I thought I was going to be like, yep, it's going to be like, you know, the previous years, 2K20, 2K19, but it is completely different. They are not wrong when Wwe 2K22 says it hits different, because it actually does. Although the build I was playing wasn't exactly the full game, it felt like it was almost the complete version. There were only 2 modes available during this build, which was the exhibition matches and also my GM. I did spend a fair amount of time playing both of these modes, but I may have spent just a little more time playing the exhibition matches. Before I talk about my gameplay experience, I just want to say that I'm a huge fan of this year's menu/UI system. Everything is so compact and clean, it just makes it a super fun experience to play. Gameplay. This is something I'm sure that every single person wants to hear me talk about. The gameplay was super smooth and looked so graphically pleasing. Experiencing an entrance for the first time, my jaw was pretty much on the floor. There was one entrance that absolutely blew my mind, but unfortunately, I can't talk about that just yet. But I will say, seeing the likes of Shotzi entering in a tank, to having Drew McIntyre enter with his large sword, all the entrances that I got to witness truly hits different. Whoever was behind the scenes working on all of the models, all the arenas, and all of the lighting effects, y'all did a top-notch job, and I really want to applaud you for that one. So GG's, they look outstanding. You have got to be proud of yourself for that one. As for playing the game, the controls felt extremely strange at first. I mean, maybe I should have played the tutorial first, but I was just so excited. I wanted to jump straight into the game. In my head, there was no need to do the tutorial, but I will say I did the tutorial at a later time, which did help a lot. After about 10 minutes of gameplay, it felt like a very nice change. The breakers can take time getting used to. Once you're in a grapple, you can press square on the PS5 to reverse a light attack, or X on the PS5 to reverse a heavy attack. Everything about the controls did eventually feel right, and it got very easy to pick up. But speaking of the controls, the combo system is actually amazing. Being able to use so many different combo types made the gameplay so much more entertaining. Also, I do want to say that the gameplay speed was very smooth, and it ran at a very good pace. Animations as well are insane. I can tell that there are a ton of brand new animations added to the game. But speaking of animations, I was a huge fan of the brand new table break physics. The fact that every single table break felt different kept me invested to play more TLC/table matches. Every game I loaded up, you bet your sweet bippy the table would be my first weapon of choice. But enough of that. Moving on to my GM. Wow. Just wow. When going into this mode, I didn't want to get my hopes super high, but oh my god. As I only had a short amount of time playing, I decided to play a 15-week My GM, selecting Sonya Deville as my GM and running a SmackDown show. The draft screen is very simple and easy to understand for anyone that is new to the game. Being able to select a recommended superstar made picking my roster that much more easier. Now, I will admit, my first superstar that I picked was the man, the myth, the legend himself, Finn Balor. Sometimes you'll forget about a certain superstar and maybe they'll show up in your recommendations, so it makes it so much more easier to be like, hey, you know what? My opponent didn't choose AJ and he's in my recommended, so I'm gonna pick him and add him to my roster instead. So the recommendation section is something that I really enjoyed and feel like it can help so many players. It was definitely a very good feature to add to the game mode. With how in-depth my GM is, I can tell you right now that this mode is going to be a fan favorite for years to come. From setting up your own arenas, whether it's in a basketball gym or even a concert arena, it can add so much variety to your show. Being able to actually enter yourself into a match as a manager slash, my GM, or whether you wanted to spectate made running my show so realistic. One thing about my GM that I really did enjoy is the fact that you can swap camera angles while spectating. Being able to sit to the crowd while you watch a match is something I've wanted in a WWE game for a very, very long time. With every camera angle, you are able to have the camera centered either perfectly still, or you can have that camera angle follow a certain superstar. Even though my 15-week MyGM story was short, it made me wish I selected more weeks, as I really didn't want to end my show. And before anyone asks, yes, I did beat Adam Pearce in MyGM. SmackDown on top, baby! WWE 2K22 is definitely one of my favorite wrestling games I've played in a very long time, and I cannot wait to stream and record content very, very soon. Once again, I do want to give a huge thank you to 2K ANZ and also 2K for giving me the opportunity to play WWE 2K22 early. I honestly thought something like this would never happen, especially to a person like myself. Before I go, make sure you subscribe, then head to the top rope so you can elbow drop that like button. Head down to the comments and tell me who you're excited to play as in WWE 2K22. WWE 2K22 truly hits different. Shoo!